There was a small village nestled amidst rolling hills with cobblestone streets and old buildings that whispered stories of the past. It was quiet and peaceful, a place where time seemed to stand still. In the middle of the village stood an old church, its steeple reaching towards the sky. The church was a place of comfort and solace for everyone in the village. It was where they gathered for celebrations, mourned their losses, and found strength in times of need. One night a storm came. It was a terrible storm with heavy rain and strong winds that howled through the village like a wild beast. The storm knocked out the power, plunging the whole village into darkness. The once peaceful streets were now filled with the sounds of crashing branches and the relentless pounding of the rain. The villagers huddled in their homes, listening to the storm rage outside, hoping it would pass quickly. As the night wore on, the storm showed no signs of letting up. The church, usually a beacon of light and hope, stood dark and silent. The villagers prayed for safety and for the storm to end. When morning finally came, the storm had passed, but the village was left to pick up the pieces. Anna lived in a quaint village nestled between rolling hills and dense forests. She was an old woman, her face etched with the lines of many years. She lived alone in a small, rustic house that had been her home for decades. Despite her age and wisdom, Anna was deeply afraid of the dark. When the storm rolled in one fateful night, it brought with it howling winds and torrential rain. The power lines were no match for the storm's fury, and soon the lights in Anna's house flickered and went out, plunging her into darkness. Anna's heart raced as she fumbled for a candle. The tiny flame cast eerie shadows on the walls, making her feel even more isolated. She felt a chill run down her spine as the wind howled outside, rattling the windows. In her fear, Anna closed her eyes tightly and whispered a fervent prayer. "Please, God, send your light to chase away the darkness," she pleaded, her voice trembling. She hoped for a miracle, for a sign that she was not alone in this terrifying moment. Anna remembered something. She had a candle. It was a small candle, but it was all she had. She found the candle and lit it. The small flame flickered. It pushed back the darkness in her room. Section 4. The Light Spreads. Anna took her candle to the church. Soon other villagers came. They were also afraid of the dark. They saw Anna's candle. One by one, they lit their own candles from hers. The church began to glow. The fear in their hearts started to fade. Section 5. A reminder of faith. In the quiet, sacred space of the church, the atmosphere was filled with a sense of peace and reverence. The congregation sat in silent reflection, their hearts open to the words of wisdom that were about to be shared. The priest spoke to Anna, a woman who had been struggling with her faith. She had come seeking guidance, hoping to find a glimmer of hope in her time of darkness. The priest listened intently, his eyes filled with compassion and understanding. "You brought light to the darkness," he said, handing her a lit candle. The small flame flickered gently, casting a warm glow that seemed to chase away the shadows. It was a simple gesture, but it carried a profound message. "Just like a mustard seed, your faith is small, but it made a big difference," the priest continued. He held out a tiny mustard seed, a symbol of how something so small can grow into something mighty. The storm passed, and with it, the darkness that had clouded her heart began to lift. The lights came back on, both in the room and in Anna's spirit. She felt a renewed sense of hope and purpose, as if the weight she had been carrying was finally being lifted. Anna kept the candle on her table, a constant reminder of the light that had been reignited within her. It was a symbol of her journey, of the faith that had been restored. It reminded her that even a little faith can bring a lot of light. Every time she looked at the candle, she remembered the priest's words and the power of a small, unwavering faith. It was a beacon of hope, guiding her through the darkest of times.